Hello, and welcome to another DealershipNews.com podcast. Kelly Kleiman here, as I am each week, with another Who's Happening in the Automotive Industry. Today we have Marc Desgroseilliers. Marc is one of Canada's top automotive consultants in sales and marketing. Spanning over 20 years, he's helped consult over 400 dealerships, Canada's largest dealer groups, and several OEMs. He is now VP of Sales for Vicimus, and I would consider them one of the leading-edge automotive software companies. They design, build, deploy, and manage software solutions while providing personalized strategic services, consultations, all intended to lift a dealership's ROI. On the third take, it's my pleasure to welcome you, Marc.
Hey, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. First and foremost, how did you get your start in the automotive industry? Is it something you always wanted to do, or did you just find a healthy niche in working with Vicimus?
Well, raised on the farm, you learn to tinker on cars. I guess I fell in love with the industry way back. But I officially made my start in a couple of retail domestic dealerships and worked through the ranks from the sales floor up to the office. And then you fast forward 20 years later and had the opportunity to work with amazing people in retail at the OEM level, in an automotive-centric agency, in automotive software, in sales and marketing consulting. I mean, you name it. A full 360-degree view is what I bring today. And today, here I am at Vicimus, leading the next phase of our company's sales growth.
Let's pronounce it properly once and for all. Vicimus, like an S-H?
Vicimus.
Vicimus. And, of course, nobody ever pronounces it right, so I'm not going to feel too bad.
Just like my last name.
Folks, if you saw how we spelled it, unless you were French-Canadian or French, you would never know how to pronounce it. What would your 30-second elevator pitch sound like for Vicimus, should you ever need one? After all, the quote is always be selling, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I think one of my favorite lines is, if a product is really good, it should be able to stand on its own two legs. If we deliver value, the selling should be a lot of fun. We have an amazing proprietary slew of platforms, and like you said in the intro, we empower dealerships to, increase ROI in basically every single department. So we've built our platforms not only to fuel these incremental sales, but we've made it easy to use. So the first one is Glovebox. It's basically a CMS platform. It's a state-of-the-art website builder that can easily be managed internally and features many of the different conversion widgets needed to compete in the digital space that presents dealerships today. Our flagship platform is an advanced customer database marketing tool called Bumper. It basically opens the door to increase sales by enabling a dealer to find, those incremental opportunities in every department every month.
Question number 3 would be, what sets you apart from your most advanced competitors? And do we dare mention who they are?
Well, there are some. The retention space is comprised of many great solutions, such as MailChimp. I'm sure you've heard of them.
Sure.
And others. But unlike the other platforms out there, with Bumper, we've modernized and simplified customer database marketing for dealerships. Bumper offers dealerships really 3 distinct advantages. It really sets us apart, and it really caters to today's market. Number 1 is it's fast. So let's say an OEM launches a 3-day sale this morning. The dealer can be in market marketing that same message to their database in the afternoon. It's super fast and super easy. Number 2 is it's highly effective. Because of its design, Bumper can deliver a personalized message to individual customers in a wide variety of channels, giving the customer the ability to consume that message in the way that works for them. The consumer has really changed over the years. And whether it be like YouTube videos, cell phone ready responsiveness, email, ringless voicemail, there's a much higher chance customers will consume the dealer's message if it caters to what they are comfortable in absorbing. And thirdly, we call it strong adoption rate. Bumper was born out of a dealer's need to grow the business, so making it easy for dealership staff to adopt the technology was a primary focus. It was one of those must boxes to tick during the design phase. Mm-hmm. And we all know turnover rate in dealerships is super high. So for example, we have a small rural dealer out east where the receptionist is now creating these marketing campaigns, and she is driving results So it's just remarkable that any type of employee can sit down and create these campaigns.
So how does it work? It's obviously a customer retention strategy, a program.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a dealer. I'm talking to Vicimus rep. That would possibly be you, Mark. And I would like to find out a little bit more. How long does it take to set up? What are my costs? What can I expect? Manage those expectations.
Mm-hmm. Well, first I want to talk about customer acquisition versus retention, because I think most dealerships focus on acquisition.
Good point.
And it should take the front seat, but there should be an equal focus on retention. That being said, it's 6 to 7 times more expensive to gain a new customer than to retain one. And I think last I checked, and I don't know, you can maybe check the stats on this, but traditional media, it'll cost a dealer $1,500 per unit per car sold, and digital media is around $150 per unit, if done right. And micro marketing through Bumper can be as low as 86 cents per unit. So with that said, it's super easy. I mean, the onboarding takes a day, and basically we have performance managers that set up a dealer and then do the training. The training is basically an hour long, and what's really cool is that the system is already built with everything preloaded. So a dealer can actually hit the market in a very, very short period of time, and there are preset campaigns that he can actually use and then find those opportunities in his database and then hit the market right away. So one of the reasons why dealers don't do this or don't do retention marketing is that when they hire an agency to do it, it's very expensive. And some of the current tools that are out there right now, they're not designed for the dealership environment and obviously the savvy digital customer. With Bumper, a dealer can easily upload his database just with a few clicks. Bumper will find those incremental opportunities, provide a dealer with the right message for those specific customers. And relevancy is so important if you want to succeed in today's retention climate. So Bumper does all that for him.
Is it fully automated, or is there some human element here?
Yeah, there's definitely some human element. The beauty is that we have, when we assign a performance manager to every dealership, the training, the onboarding process, and there's checks and balances in the platform that prevents, human error and, sending the wrong message to the wrong client or customer.
I've had that experience. We did a test with, I want to say, 436 dealers, used car dealers that were all on the, I won't say which platform, but a very inexpensive website template. And I wanted to see how many people actually responded to a lead inquiry via email. And it was 19%. Of that 19%, I want to say it was 11 or 12% of them was just an automated email that didn't even have the logo or the branding of the used car dealer that we were attempting to contact. It had this particular platforms. I noticed that dealing with and discussing employment, staffing, you have an issue with some of the personnel that simply do not follow up, and they're the fault for anything that's from a marketing or for a retention or even a lead follow-up standpoint. How do you bypass that issue? Is it your management?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of components in the platform and the onboarding process that helps dealers succeed. And most dealers obviously focus on the sales side, and sales is where they need a lot of help, obviously, because there's a lot of follow-ups, and it's definitely a tedious job for a salesperson to follow up on opportunities. But Bumper really makes it easy for them to do this, and they do it at a very high level, and it's very quick and easy. But what I'd like to touch on also is there are other opportunities in other departments. I'll give you an example. So this dealer had an issue. This parts manager had an issue with obsolescence. He had 5 hood deflectors for a 2014 Honda Civic. And man, he's stuck with these parts. So he used Bumper. He went in there. He identified the cars that actually this hood deflector fit. He actually launched a campaign that cost him $16 and blew them out at 50% off and got rid of them. Now, here's a cool scenario where micro-marketing was used to reduce parts obsolescence, something that most dealerships do not do or are not equipped to do without Bumper.
Interesting. I agree. I've seen almost nothing that could actually handle something like that. Let's talk about results that a dealership can expect out the gate when they deal with the company? Vicimus,
Hmm.
give me some examples. I'm dealer X. I'm on board. I've got a parts department. We've got a vital, robust company here, but we need some help. We need to start getting rid of some inventory. We have parts that are obsolete. We have older cars that we sell. What can you not promise me, but what can I expect?
Yeah. Yeah, great question, and it's a big concern nowadays. I mean, as you know, most dealerships are experiencing vendor exhaustion.
Totally.
There's so many platforms, so many vendors targeting dealerships because there's tons of technology now, ready to help dealers. But, our promise is very simple. So first of all, Bumper was designed as a do-it-yourself platform. So every dealer is trained and can do this on their own. However, we assign a performance manager that is assigned to that dealership, and the performance manager sets up the onboarding training and so forth and continuously monitors the dealer's progress and reviews the results on a monthly basis. But what's really cool is that when we sort of set up a new client on Bumper, our goal is to ensure that dealer gets off to a great start, and that's sort of our internal promise to our clients, is that anytime we get a new client, when you're loaded and you're ready to go, you're going to get off to a great start. And what that means is every account is preloaded with best practice campaigns. So that for the first 3 months, your system's already loaded with existing, best practice campaigns that you can actually launch within your database and get great results. And results vary. In sales, traditional, non-bumper campaign will garner between 1.5 to 3% conversion rate. With bumper in sales, you can see between 6 to 18 to 25% conversion, which is really high. And then you get into the other ones where we've had conversions that are through the roof, and the ROI has been, through the roof as well. Whether it be a service campaign that's been tied to sales. For test drives where we saw conversions of 60% and so forth. So the system comes loaded with best practice campaigns to help a dealer launch and garner some early success.
Yeah, that makes sense. So let's talk about the difference between Canadian dealers and American dealers. We're going off script a little bit here, folks, but
Yeah.
I think it's important in regards to vendor exhaustion. Are there far less people calling on Canadian dealers? Do you have more success with Canadian dealers, or do you have more success with American dealers? There's so much competition down here, and everything is at such a high pace. It's very difficult just to get through to the decision maker, whereas I would assume, and I could be assuming incorrectly, that dealing with Canadian dealerships, if you're Canadian and you sort of have the same vibe, is much easier. Am I right? Am I wrong?
Mm-hmm. Well, because I've been obviously working both markets, I do see some similarities. I think vendor exhaustion is on both sides of the border, I'll be honest with you. But I do find instead of going from country to country, what I do see is that there's a new regime of young ownership or maybe younger dealer groups which are more progressive and they're more open to new ideas and new platforms. And where we see more of the barriers is with the older groups, the guys that have multi-layered, management levels of management where it's hard to get to the decision makers. So the good news is that we're seeing this influx of new thinking, progressive thinkers, younger groups, and they've sort of opened the door to new marketing ideas and new sales initiatives. But I would have to tend to say, though, in the States, there are more platforms being pitched at dealers for sure. So it is much, I guess, noisier, if I could use that word.
It's a good one.
In the U.S.
Sure. Question for you, and this is looking toward the future. We know that you guys just launched Bumper Direct Marketing Platform. What do you have for us in the coming year that's going to get us excited? What is it? An upsell? Is it something that's in addition to Bumper? Is it Bumper 4.0? What are we talking about?
Yeah, yeah. This is my favorite question, by the way. I'm super pumped about the future because I just my mind is a progressive mind. So we have tons of integration planned. In this day and age, you have to be what I call multi-platform receptive. With so many innovations surfacing every month, maintaining our adaptability to consumer behavior is a core pillar at Vicimus. So I'm happy to share with you, actually, this is probably the first time I'm announcing this, is that Bumper will be fully integrated into Uplogic's CRM later this year. And we're adding a live chat feature on the delivery mode to customers and a whole slew of additional iOS and Android device features that is really going to make that customer experience a lot more, friendly and user-friendly, if I can use those words. So there's tons, lots of stuff in the dev pipeline. And, our development efforts are laser-focused on bridging the gap between today's consumer and the automotive industry. So I'm really pumped about that.
I'm pumped as well, and hopefully we can help you do some promotion on that. Here's the big question. You're looking towards the future, and so are we with this one. Where are you going to be 5 years from now? Not your company, but Marc.
All right. Well, I do have to say a few things about the company. So, we have started our global expansion. So the goal would be to be in all major connected countries in 5 years. But on a personal note, in no particular order, I'd have to say that, I want to increase my LinkedIn contributions. I think LinkedIn is an amazing platform that I can sort of share my best practice, my success, and just help other people succeed in life. I want to increase my speaking engagements. Is something that I've started the last couple of years. I enjoy thoroughly. And, of course, maybe try and reduce my golf handicap.
Oh, that you could just dream about. I don't think you get much golf up there. Are you in Canada, by the way? Are you based in Canada?
Yeah, I'm in Toronto, and yes, it's April, and we still have snow on the ground.
Exactly, yeah. I'm from Cleveland originally, so I know where you're coming from. But, hey, it's been fantastic talking with you, folks. That's him. That's the one and only Marc Desgroseilliers, and it's Vicimus. So I think I get an A for both pronunciations.
Absolutely.
And, there you go. We appreciate you coming on with the DealershipNews.com podcast. Kelly Kleiman here again, signing off for now, and we'll see you soon. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.